Hello and welcome to ADHD TV with me, Jo Richards. I'm just doing a short series of Under the Hood with the Coach. And today I wanted to talk about oversharing versus shining the light on something. So obviously oversharing can be something really prevalent with us ADHDers. I've always said, oh my God, I'm an open book, and kind of spent 47 years not knowing I had ADHD. Didn't think I was too much of an oversharer because I grew up with a mum who had ADHD, who I thought was an oversharer. And I just, when I was little, I used to be mortified and think I'm just not going to be like that. And so there is a little bit of me thinking that maybe I'm not, but at the same time, you're just like, we think we're one way and possibly we're another way. And I know that I've caught myself so many million times interrupting somebody when they're sharing some information about themselves. Well, because I'm so excited that I get it and I know what they mean and I've had this experience, and I've then kind of cut in and said something, and then I'd taken over the conversation and didn't want to do that. I didn't want for them to think that I wasn't interested in what they were saying. I was desperately trying to let them know I understood and I connected. I could hear them and I saw them, and everyone wants to be seen, heard and understood, and I was always trying to do that. But I know that I've had a challenge with that, and I said a sentence for many, many years: Jo, listen twice as much as you speak. That's why you have two ears. So it's been a real challenge. But there's also this big side of me that is a true believer in, truth is my core value. And so if you're not disclosing, and I'm not saying you have to go around telling everybody your business, but if you're keeping things under wraps or hidden or whatever way you want to describe it, then those emotions of shame and embarrassment and vulnerability can really come in and be overpowering. So I am a great believer that if you shine a light on something, if you call it out, if you talk about it, then it takes away some of those feelings. I know I'm humbly a host for Ladies Who Latte Business Networking, and I can be mid-sentence in front of a group of women. When I first started about 5 or 6 years ago, it could be up to about 27, 30 ladies in the room. And I'd stand up, and I should have sat down. I'd stand up and introduce myself. And you'd think I'd be a pro at it, but obviously depending on where I was in my ADHD cycle would depend on whether my brain worked. Look, see, nearly didn't then. So I didn't have the words though. I would make a joke of it. I definitely started calling out because I was like, this is starting to become a problem, so I need to call it out. But I did it in like a jokey way and made kind of fun of myself and sort of said, look, this is how not to do it. So if any of you ladies want to set up a group, you know that you could, because you'd have, a much better introduction than I can do. Now, luckily, because I know I've got ADHD, I just call it out and I just go, look, ladies, just to let you know I've got ADHD. My working memory is not great. I may be mid-sentence and forget what I'm saying. I may be mid-sentence and go off on a tangent. This is ADHD in real time, and I don't apologise for it. I just explain it. And I know I've said in previous videos, I don't use ADHD as an excuse. I use it as an explanation. And I think shining the light on things that make us feel sad or lonely or isolated or ashamed or embarrassed, then calling it out is just the very best thing we could do. It does take a lot of courage, I'm not going to lie, and it takes a lot of practice, but the more we do it, the more comfortable we are, the more we can own who we are, understand that this is the blueprint of our brain, it's not our personality, they are separate, and just feel a bit more empowered. At the end of the day, there is no cure for ADHD that I know of. There are a few things that really help ease up the symptoms, but we're living with it. And I think if we can take ownership and call it out and feel proud of how we are able to do stuff despite the challenges of ADHD, then that's coming from a much better place. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're well, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care.